What is going on, everybody out there? Happy Friday night. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. As always, good to have everybody coming in. We got fine people coming in here. As always, we've got with us that snooty lady that runs all over the world, only hangs out with us, pours to write it off on her taxes. How you doing tonight there, Gutters Pub?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Couldn't be better. Well, I could be, but it wouldn't really matter. And we got with us our token mad scientist out there. How you doing tonight, Nathan?
Oh man, it already feels like a fun show in the back, dude. This is going to be awesome.
Everything's going right off the bat. Coming to us, we've got our redheaded stepchild joining back in with us again. How you doing tonight there, Tombstones?
I am doing fabulous. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Hopefully you're getting over your asthma attacks. Joining us tonight, we have coming in here our good friend from the Winda Bros, Doug, coming in here to tell us about a bunch of his stuff. How you doing tonight there, Doug?
I'm doing great, and as always, excited to be back.
I know, man. Good to have you back. Always good talking to you. I'm sure you've had a bunch of good stuff going on that you're going to tell us about tonight, and I'm sure we can hit on some fun topics. So everybody out there, we do thank you for being here. This is streaming live to many, many, many different platforms, more than you can possibly imagine. Hell, I don't even know which ones they're going out to. But either way, glad to see people coming in here. Please make sure you've hit that thumbs up button. Sit back. We're about to get this show going.
Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby who?
Abby normal.
Abby normal.
Listening to the ASN Podcast Network.
All right, let me figure out how to do this right here. I got to pull this down and bring us up. Look at that. I almost did something right. Looks like we got KJ back in here. She's got some good technical difficulties going on. How you doing tonight there, KJ? You back with us?
Hey, guys. Yes.
All right. Can we get the woot woot?
Woot woot.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're going to our intro. All of a sudden you disappeared, but we can't start a show without your woot woot. So I do see we already got some fine people coming in here. We'll say hey to a few people. Who's this? We got Beth Kennedy coming in here. What's up, Beth? Says your friend Ernie told her about this show there, Tombstones. So good to see you in here. Beth, we got Karen from HR coming in here. Let's see who else we got. Equal, what is going on, Equal? We got Shane Reynolds coming in here. Good to see you, Shane. I hope you're doing well. Matt Dummett, good to see you. Venomous Venoms, what's going on? Good to see you. Daniel Bayer Sports Highlights coming in here. Mishka, what's up, Mishka? Tombstone hanging out in the chat. We got, who's this one? Bot. Good to see you, Bot. Ricks. The Winda Bros in the chat there. Good to see you. As always, my friend. We got Shaz coming in here. What's up, Shaz? Let's see if I miss your name. Not doing it on purpose. Bruce Gas Boxing. What is up, my friend? Good to see you, Mr. Andrew Heinrich, the Anonymous. Good to see you. We got Cold and Covered in here. Dozer. What's going on, Dozer? As always, good to see all you guys. Wasabi. Good to see you, Wasabi. I like those names. We got Guacaloca in here. Good to see you. Mean Green. What's up, Mean Green? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. SoCal Buckeye up in here. Ann Howcroft. All kinds of fun people coming here. We got Debbie Webb. What's up, Debbie Webb? Steven. I'm trying to catch up. Get down here. Closer to the bottom here. Wasabi. I like it. Yeah, sausage, he says. Or she. Not sure which one that is. Well, I'm not trying to misgender anybody. Better get that right. Little Miss Red Velvet. Hope you're doing well. Cold and Covered. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a good Friday night. We are live over here on Traveling Fools. We're live on X. We're live on Gutters Pub. We're live on Old Man Bill's channel. We're live on Tombstones. And we've got Doug joining us tonight. Doug, Sausage Fest. Tell us about this Sausage Fest and how you're doing, brother.
Yeah, there was a lot of, actually a distinct lack of wieners there. I was pretty disappointed whenever I went. I was very excited about it. I know Tombstones was too, but I was sad to report that it was more alien and less wiener. A lot of probing too, though. It's
Was there any alien wiener?
Yeah, no alien wiener. Actually, they're genderless. Yeah, it's no. So yeah, saucers. So if you weren't here for the joke, I think a lot of people thought I said sausage fest whenever
Okay,
I was on here talking about it initially. So I just ran with it, and Tombstone's been haunting my YouTube channel saying, "How was Sausage Fest?" And you know,
She wants to know how it swings.
I had to pay tribute to that. So yeah, Saucers Over Appalachia that just happened this past June. And if we are anything, we are the best at being the substitutes. It's kind of par for course for our brand. But yeah, we were asked last minute, probably 4 or 5 days before the event, to actually be the last speakers of the day. So there was a cancellation, and we had a great turnout to that. And it was an awesome day there. It was bigger than last year. I think we had 45 minutes of footage last year from just people talking about their real paranormal stories. And I think by the time we were done, about an hour and 20 minutes for this year of just paranormal stories. So really fascinating people that you meet out there. And it's just an awesome vibe. I would encourage anybody. We're already scheduled to go to year 3. So we'll be there at year 3 next year in June. So,
so you had a good time. It was fun.
It's an awesome event. It really is. We brought Chasing Ravens with us, which is another paranormal group here in Northeast Tennessee. We love those guys. And we also brought Rick from the Euro Shrine with us too. We got him out of the shrine and let him just walk around. And his words were, "I just want to go out and experience these people." So that's what he did.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you this: how was the turnout there? Was there a lot of people? I mean, it was a good turnout.
Well, I haven't talked to the festival runners yet about that. I know that they told me last year they had 7,000 people worth of foot traffic. It had to have been more than that though. This year it was unreal on how many people were coming in through. We brought backup this year just so we could have a break and walk away, and that went right out the window. Like, we could not walk away. So I like I'm doing right now, I sat there for about 7+ hours just talking to just different people, and plus another hour up in the Bristol Public Library talking to even more people. So
did you get any cool stories out of anybody? I know a lot of times people like to come up and tell you some of their stories and things like that. Did you get any good interviews?
Yeah, incredible interviews. In fact, I think that we may be actually going on a Bigfoot hunt in Pound, Virginia here very soon. We had a gentleman come up to us, and Bigfoot's been one of those that it's just one of those things I've yet to experience for myself. I'm not saying I don't believe in Bigfoot, but it's one of those X-Files things where I want to believe. It's yet to happen to me. He showed me a picture, and I told him to make sure he sends it to me. But it's this large footprint out in the woods, and I mean, it is a perfect footprint down to like the toes, the soles of the feet. And I said, "Where did you get this?" And he said, "Pound, Virginia." And I said, "I'm in Pound, Virginia all the time." So we're going to try to get that going. I think he said that he went out there one time investigating with Doug Owens, and he was actually he had plenty of experiences with him, and that wasn't the only Bigfoot case that we had come up to us that day. In fact, we actually had somebody give us footage of they did not want to be on camera, so that's going to be the audio edition of that version. But he played sounds, which to me it sounded a lot like coyotes, but you could also hear things being thrown at the tin shed that he was in during that moment as well too. But yeah, it's such a broad spectrum, and it's so funny though, for it being an alien themed event, a UFO themed event, we don't get a lot of UFO stories. It's usually cryptids or like ghost or hauntings.
Well, it seems like the cryptids and the ghosts, more people seem to like to talk about that, I think.
Yeah,
there's almost a thing with like UFOs. I think if people come out and they're like, they get called crazier. I mean, if you can imagine that, like, it's more normal to go out with a Bigfoot story than it is to say I was abducted by aliens,
Which is incredible to me, incredibly strange actually, because it's at this point with the way the government's working and the release of certain UFO files, it should be pretty commonly accepted now too. But you're right. I mean, that you get a lot of scoffing and a lot of eye rolling. Right. I think we only had one UFO story that day, and it fit the bill of, it was triangular light, a lot of lights. I'm not sure how much I want to say it was probably just an aircraft that she didn't recognize, but she did say it was flying very low, and it was also without any kind of sound. But she was like, I was a staunch non-believer in it until I experienced it myself.
Yeah, well, now there's a lot of things. I mean, the government's got some crazy looking stuff they're flying around all the time, and and people with their drones and people with their, there's so many different things. I mean, Lord knows what the government has as far as drones goes and all that kind of stuff like that. I mean, no telling what you're seeing now. I mean, it'd be different in 1940 if you saw something,
Absolutely.
Than it is now.
And, I think a lot of folks, whenever they think of UAP, they're thinking of something extraterrestrial beyond our world. I would dare say that we're probably looking at Black Ops, where we have a lot of reverse engineered, aircraft or things that we're testing out. That's probably a big portion of it too. Now, whenever I put on my conspiracy hat, I'm not doubting the idea of things coming out of the ocean either, because we know less about our ocean than we do space.
So what's your take on that with the? Because I've always thought it makes more sense that nothing's traveling light years away to get here. If there was anything, if there was anything, I think it is in the ocean. Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you on that. I'm very skeptical to what we have out there in space. And I think that if there is anything, they probably just see us and they'll just keep on driving by because they don't want anything to do with us. Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, I would. Let's just roll our window up. Yeah,
we'll get the next exit.
Yeah, roll them up, kind of like Clark Griswold. Roll them up, and just keep on cruising by. Yeah. So, Toombs, you got any questions about Sausage Fest there? I know you were obsessed with Sausage Fest, so I'm sure you got something you want to ask our good friend Doug here.
Well, I'm just I was hoping for photos, like actual evidence of sausages. But
there's a lot of footage, a lot of photos, a lot of talking. But unfortunately, I did not see any wieners. So it's I'm sorry to report.
Is that unfortunate?
It could be. It depends on what you like. It's But you never know. It could be next year.
Maybe I'll come next year. Maybe I will.
Okay.
Maybe then the sausages will.
Right, you show up and all the sausages will be there.
Magically fall from the sky.
You set up next to us next year, and I'll bring my grill.
Sausages. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
So what is this? What is this next thing you were talking about? You're planning on doing, upcoming. That you were telling me about.
Yeah, we have a lot of things actually coming up. Again, we just completed Saucers Over Appalachia Festival. We now have September 26th, which we were thrilled and honored because at times we feel like we're the small fry of the paranormal world, but we were asked to be headliners for the West Kentucky Paranormal Expo in September 26th. And we'll be headlining that with our friend Jimmy Ricker from Outlaw Paranormal. Along with Aaron G. Thompson, who was on Netflix's 28 Days Haunted. Cool. We're tickled to death about that, but we'll be going in there and kind of bringing our neck of the woods to West Kentucky. It's going to be out in Mayfield, Kentucky on September 26th. And we're excited about it, and it's crazy because it seems like Mayfield's getting pretty excited about it too. But I believe that this is their third year of doing this, and it's ran by Kent Wilson, who runs the Paranormal Addicts podcast as well too, along with Ken 10 Paranormal.
Well, that's cool. And when was that again? I'm sorry, I'm sure you said, but
yeah, September 26th this year. We'll be in there, and we always feel like the Windowbirds, we're always a little bit nervous going to these things because we go in and we tend to talk about the logic behind things and handling things with certain scrutiny and not screaming. And we did get a lot of that at Saucers Over Appalachia. I think I ran into a demon. We get a lot of the demon talk. And we're usually like, it may not be that, it may not be that. So we go in from a very, I wouldn't say contrarian perspective, but we do talk a lot about, using your good judgment and what it takes to really get in this field too. So we'll be bringing that to them. We'll be talking a little bit about Case File Abyss. We'll be talking a lot about our case files, what we've experienced, and what it takes to get into this too. And we also just recently had the Smoky Shadows retreat, which was 2 weeks ago. It was very hot, very stifling, and that was actually conducted at the Ura Shrine, and it was a retreat getaway for the Spooky Sisterhood, and it was also billed as a witches retreat. So, real life practicing witches traveled from all over the U.S., from California, Indiana, and came to Bristol, Tennessee, and spent time with us over there. And we got to teach one of the classes over there about proper paranormal investigation, what we think things are, and give our sage advice.
So what was okay on this new thing? I mean, has anybody told you any just outlandish, like crazy or really creepy stories lately? I mean, did you get anything that made you go, "Ugh," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the one that unsettled me the most over at Sausage Over Appalachia would have been her name was Amanda, and it was such a simple story, and I think that's why it unsettled me. And for her, and what we notice whenever we go to these festivals, they'll come by, they'll talk to us, they'll make a circle, they'll come by, look at some things, and they'll come by again. And we always say that, okay, we know that you have something that you want to talk about and get off your chest. That usually what it boils down to. And they said, yeah, I want to talk about these things, but nobody takes me seriously. So we said, sit down with us. So Amanda told us a story. Again, it was such a simple story, but she was actually staying at a friend's house, and it was an old home. And she went into her room, and the room that she was staying in, and she said that she had an upload of information. And she said it felt like, my brain just turned on, and I could see something, I guess in my peripheral vision that just wasn't supposed to be there. And it just basically told me that something's not right. And so whenever she turned around and faced her bed, she said the sheet was raised in her bed into a human shape. And when she said, and she panicked, and she said, well, you're not supposed to be here. Leave me alone. The sheet just kind of fell. That right there was so, and I'm actually getting goosebumps talking about it. It was so simple that it was unsettling. And it was a very short story, but for some reason that was the one that really stuck out to me there too. And I said, you usually hear things like that, or you watch horror movies, and those are the things that happen in horror movies, and we could dismiss it as that. But the fact that she really had to work up the nerve and courage to really come talk to us about that's what I thought was, I was like, okay, she's telling the truth. I really felt like she was. And that upload of information is what really kind of, made me perk up a little bit, because, I know I've talked about it on the past here about the shops in 1910, but it was kind of a similar feeling whenever I went there too. And it's just a general upload of information where you just feel like something's not right. I don't know if it's, that gland in our brain, that says, hey, fight or flight, turn on. But the whole standing of the sheet is what I was like, okay, that's really creepy. That's really weird. Otherwise,
blessing to happen. I'd love that to happen in my house.
Well, in a weird way, yeah, I would love to see something like that happen. I really would. Yeah,
you have something to talk about, right? You wouldn't run away. You just talk to it, like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing in my room?
What are you doing here?" Well, but I told her, I said, "Well, you're going to definitely survive in a horror movie, because you said get the hell out," and it did. It was, and she was like, "I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel like it was anything malevolent." She goes, it felt unnatural, and I didn't want it there." And so she said, "Go," and it went. To me, that was the one that really stood out to me the most. So, Amanda, if you're listening. That was a great story.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy there. I mean, I'm glad, a lot of people, y'all, you want to see this stuff. I'm glad I don't. I don't want to see that in my room. I don't want to see the ghost at the end of my bed, other than my feet.
I mean, I've experienced, being, in a, losing someone that you love in there, and people are like, "Are you freaked out?" And I'm like, I don't get freaked out about that. You know what I mean? So maybe it's kind of that same feeling where if it was something that would have been frightening, it would have given her that feeling, but it wasn't. Do you know what I mean? Like that aura or whatever, that feeling. So that could be it too. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't something that was aggressive or frightening.
I live with the devil. My wife is literally the devil. You ain't gonna get no worse than that. You ain't got nothing that's gonna scare me. Okay, that woman has horns within a few minutes of talking to her. Okay, they just come out in flame. So we ain't got no problem with no ghost over here. Okay, we can have a party. We do some strip poker or something on the side. But no, I ain't afraid of none of that. You just come on and have some fun. We'll just start up some Tesla coils together and zap the crap out of ourselves and have some fun.
Yeah, I'd still like to try your Tesla coils out there.
That's hilarious. Sure. You're like, let's party.
I do want to know who this person in the chat here is. Who is this person? The official Charleston White coming into some of these things. Stop ducking me and get in the ring, big boy, signing the contract. I mean, who's getting called out here? This is not on my channel.
It's on mine. I hope I'm not getting enough. I don't need.
This one's on you, so this guy's coming after you over here, Toombs. You better get to working out and doing some stuff here.
Little Scottish girl.
Oh my God.
I know you got Charleston White coming out. You got Charleston White taking you to the ring.
Oh, dude, I'm so putting your picture up and doing a Rocky monologue.
Getting stronger.
Don't be messing with my girl. Hey,
I would go run up some stairs, but my asthma is killing me.
She makes it about halfway up that Philadelphia.
Just one good punch.
Right, all I gotta do is kick him back down the stairs. That's it.
There you go.
Oh my God, there's going to be a 50-year-old man with his hands raised and fat belly hanging out. It's a statue up there now of Rocky after I'm done. That's going to be outstanding. I don't think I'll make it to the top of the steps, so I might fall back down.
Yeah, of all the people I thought were getting called out to get in the ring, I didn't think it was you, Toombs. But
Right.
you know, here we
I'm
are.
so nice.
There we go. There we go. So so what else you got coming up there, Doug? I know you're like events. I want to get to one of these events and come up there and hang out. So one of them's going to have to be like sometime soon.
They're kind of addicting. You know, I'm trying to get you up to Screamiverse Expo 3. I think that we'd have a lot of fun if we got there, especially if we both set up some recording booths and stuff.
That's this one here, right?
Yes, sir. That is it. That's going to be April 10th through 11th, 2027. So we have been given the task of looking for some paranormal teams to really drum up some business on the paranormal side. I know that they had kind of a smaller representation last year, but they're wanting to go big this year, and we'll be on the stage along with a few other paranormal groups that we're hoping. But yeah, it's sure to be exciting. It's definitely gaining a lot of momentum. And Roanoke's kind of a weird place right now because they have their very own supervillain and superhero fighting over a Target parking lot right now. So it's Roanoke is a really interesting place. I think they're bored, but that's not a time to be bored right there. Screamiverse. So. But we're excited to be there, and then I think that we will actually be with. I think Salters Over Appalachia should be there this year too, because coming year. But yeah, it's exciting times for us. We've had a few investigations. We actually we were asked to do a reinvestigation along with Chasing Ravens into the Ura Shrine, and that was really interesting. It turned into a night that we did not expect, and Outlaw Paranormal was currently filming for Scare Network TV. A series based on Corpsewood Manor, and if you're not familiar with Corpsewood Manor,
very excited about it.
Whoa.
Tombstones was
Oh,
too.
What the hell
there's
is
a
that?
ghost. I'm wishing you away.
Right, yeah. There you go.
The ghost in the machine.
Now I was getting
Yeah.
some feedback. I think I was getting like a Bluetooth coming to my thing, so I
Yeah.
just turned my Bluetooth off, and it was like, oh wow, okay, now I hear everybody. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Doug.
Yeah. So it's so we were asked to go out there with Chasing Ravens, and we allowed them to investigate out there at the Ura Shrine. And so while we were in there, Chasing Ravens, they come in there and they said, "Hey, we heard a voice in this hallway, and do you know anything about it?" And I said, it's funny because we actually heard a voice back in February there while we were just there preparing to do some planning sessions for Case File Abyss. And I said, do you all want to go in there and do an Estes session? They said, no, we absolutely do not. And I said, well, okay. I said, I'll go in there and do it. So we did the Estes session.
Now, what is that? What is that? Like, sorry for my ignorance, but
no, you're fine. So in an Estes session, there's different ways that you can do it. They have what they call Delco goggles, which are like red goggles that flash red lights into your eyes. Helps out with a trance-like state to focus. We typically just use a flashing red light. You'll put on noise canceling headphones, and you will have it hooked up to a spirit box. And so you're really just trying to get into a meditative state, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And that it's supposed to help you open up to hear things a little bit better. And so this whole time, the spirit box is rapid fire in your ears while you're pretty much blinded by red light. And yeah, it can be a little bit intense. And so we went in there, and to kind of give you a little bit of a history about Corpsewood Manor, it's located in Georgia. We used to live about 45 minutes away from the manor itself. There's nothing really out there now. It's been pretty much destroyed. There was a fire there. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to what happened. They believe that it was an electrical fire, and it was a gay couple during 1982, I want to say. And during that time period in Georgia, they came under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of hatred, a lot of just bad stuff. And so they said, well, if you're basically going to turn us into these pariahs of the community, we're really going to be pariahs of the community. So they went out and they bought a gold Cadillac and painted a giant pentagram on it, and would drive around town and just wave at the townspeople out here in this little town in Georgia. Now the speculation is that
I want a gold Cadillac.
Yeah, with a pentagram. No,
I don't really want the pentagram on there, but I'll take a gold Cadillac.
Put a sausage on it.
Yeah, there we go. We put a sausage on
that's
front.
my Cadillac.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know, it's but yeah. So they the where it comes in under a lot of scrutiny is that they believe that they were actually victims of a hate crime, and they were shot and killed, and the house is set on fire and destroyed. And that the police department out there actually tried to cover it up. So fast forward to the Euroshrine, the caretaker of the Euroshrine has paintings and pictures of the gentleman that lived in Corpsewood Manor, along with memorabilia that was in the home. And, you know, just a little bit of a trigger warning, but there was also canine femurs because the dogs died in the fire too. And they tied it to bricks. They tied these femurs to bricks. And they were trying to open up a portal in order to bring the spirits of Corpsewood Manor, the two gentlemen, into the Euroshrine as a way of saying, hey, you know, this is a safe haven. We're kindred spirits, because they used to be collectors of occult material as well too. And there's rumor that they could have been a member of the Golden Dawn. That's not what I can say is, you know, been validated or anything, so I'm not sure if there's a lot of truth to that. But long story short, all this stuff is in this hallway at the Euroshrine, and it's basically an homage to them. Well, we do the Estes session, and we start hearing very angry stuff, which we have never heard before at the Euroshrine. We've never experienced really anything at the Euroshrine, and it was very intelligent answers. I'm debating on whether I'm going to release that footage because it is very ugly, to the point to where I had to go out and apologize to Chasing Ravens and the fact that they brought their daughter there, who was 21. But a lot of words being said, a lot of, you know, a lot of slur words towards the LGBT community that were coming through this Estes session. And we actually had a member with us who was part of that community put on the headset after me, and he started saying, well, and I didn't even say the stuff out loud. He said, well, I'm hearing a lot of not so nice things. And I said, well, that's funny, because I was too. So we don't know. It got so bad to the point to where, you know, I had to say, hey, you know, cut the shit, you know, I'm getting sick of it, you're all being awful. And it actually Josh, who was on the Estes session at the time, said, sorry about that, I was just playing. and so it was really interesting. You know, Rick over there, he loves to do mad science experiments, so if we go in there, he'll say, you know, Doug will do anything, just go ahead and throw him in there with this demonic doll, or, you know, this evil doll, or, you know,
Doug will do anything.
Doug will do anything, you know, for science. You know?
It sounds like Nathan.
Yeah,
y'all like blow the world up.
I think Nathan and I need to work together sometime. Yeah,
that's
for
right.
sure. Yeah. So it's but it was an incredible time. And again, like, you know, I was like, guys, I'm so sorry for the things that I was saying that night, but I promise it wasn't me. You know, and fast forward again, so we had to lead an investigation for all the guests that came in for the Smoky Shadows retreat, and I gave them a firm warning because they said, "Oh yeah, we want to go check that out. We want to go check that out." And then when we went there and sat down and started doing it again, they said, "Okay, no, we don't want to do this anymore. This is really mean." And so that was, so I said, we warned you, and my wife, who's part of the Windobros, Christy, she was like, he's not kidding. It's going to be ugly. But it's, so to me, I don't think the Euroshrine is what I would have considered active until a lot of that actually came into there.
Now, is this your wife here in chat?
That is, yeah, Christy.
Okay, okay, yeah. I saw earlier saying that she was the female Windobro. What's up, Chrissy? Nice to meet you.
Yep, yeah.
She says $20 is $20, so she knows her husband well.
Yeah.
All in one?
Yeah, the Windobros gal. Yeah. So, but no, Christy actually gave a ladies of the paranormal discussion too. So it's just been exciting times left and right. But I past that, not a whole lot of crazy investigations. We've been on more on the documentarian side of things here lately, working alongside Rick and Christy and Josh as we're talking about mass psychosis in the world right now, indoctrination, and it's we're going into probably darker territory because it's very realistic territory. Rick is talking about how he can where he's a dark practitioner, see a lot of the things happening the way that they're meant to be, and what he means by that is not necessarily in an Abrahamic sense, but in a way, that Abrahamic religions could be practicing in dark arts in order to, basically turn the world asunder a little bit. While on the other side of the things, we have Josh and Christy talking about being raised in the Southern Bible Belt, and along with the brimstone and fire Baptists that we typically have around here that you'll go to hell for just looking the wrong way. So it's heavy stuff. It's deeper stuff, but yeah.
I watched your episode today, and
thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued. Good. From the get go. So very well done. I think I commented on it. If not, I'll go back and drop another comment if I forgot to. But I even had my 17-year-old son, who doesn't watch anything that I watch, has no interest in any of my stuff, was listening and was actually
that's awesome.
Was in tune. He's kind of like, and I'm like, you're 17. What are you seeing that I don't? But yeah, we were both in total agreement. And I love, was it Josh? Was that?
Josh, yeah.
I kind of felt that way growing up too. I know religion is one of those touchy subjects that
it is absolutely.
Everybody's going to probably disagree on at some point on it. So. But I kind of was raised that way too. I had a Southern Baptist grandma, and everything you did, you're going to burn in hell.
Yeah, you're going to hell. I always joke around, that Southern Baptists are probably the most metal thing to ever exist, because they're constantly screaming brimstone and fire. I think that they're more, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I think that they're more obsessed with the idea of going to hell than they are heaven. It's dark territory, and for that though, one thing that we've made very clear is that we're not here to upset anybody. For me, I am what I would consider a Christian. I try to follow the teachings of Jesus, and then I also try to incorporate a lot of Buddhism into that. But again, we're not singling out anybody, but what we're saying is that a lot of this stuff is being weaponized, and that's one thing that we have been talking to Rick about, is that he doesn't understand a lot of the infighting. He was raised Southern Baptist too, and eventually converted over to dark folk Shintoism, and he is a wealth of knowledge on that stuff, and he's just saying, this is all just seems very calculated, but what we're trying to do is that we hope people listen to it, and that they agree more than they disagree. And then what I've also told people, and we've had a lot of people, especially on the TikTok side of things, get really pissed off, and I'm like, well, have you watched the whole episode? And it's going to be probably a six-part series for this one, and honestly, the way it's going, I think that we're probably going to end up making seasons out of it. We want to talk to people of all different faiths, because what we're finding is that even though Rick and I are, I'm very on the light side of things, he's very on the dark side of things. We have John, who was, he was raised Southern Baptist. Christy and Josh all raised Southern Baptist. We're all sitting here and we agree that there's a lot of just nasty things in the world right now. And we're trying to say that most of the scary things out there right now are less paranormal, even though that you could attribute to a lot of spiritual warfare, but less paranormal and very a human-made monster.
Yes. Interesting. Always about religion, huh?
I just realized I was muted. I was sitting there talking to him. I'm like, yeah, well, that's blah, blah, blah. I'm like, God dang it, I'm muted. We try to mute. I got these crickets outside, these hornets, like just taking over my house. So I did see somebody in the chat earlier. They were asking, where is Appalachia? Now, how do you describe that? Appalachia basically goes from Georgia to what would you say?
I want to say does it not end at Maine? It's,
like the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, doesn't it go from Georgia to Maine?
Yeah, I believe so.
So basically, it's the mountain range that goes through the Blue Ridge Mountains, through the everything all the way up, just straight up from Georgia up like that up into Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Mia asked where though in Appalachia. She changed.
Okay.
Typed it again, and I think she meant to say in.
Okay, I saw that earlier, and I just wanted to address that. I was like, a lot of people that watch this show aren't from the United States, right? A lot of people aren't from the U.S., so I like to, you know what I mean. At least if they're asking, so they know, because we have a lot of people over across the pond watching right now. So shout out to all you guys.
Yeah, Mia drives around Virginia, so she knows.
Okay.
And West Virginia, so I think she knows where it is at least.
Okay. Just
I think I saw somebody from Ireland in here, and if I'm not mistaken, at one point, whenever the continent separated, Appalachia and the mountains of Ireland were actually part of pretty much of the same mountain range at one time.
Right.
Well, they do kind of look similar too.
Yeah.
I love the mountains in Ireland.
Well, I think it's interesting. The Appalachian Mountains, that's like one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. Don't mountains get smaller the older they are? Isn't that how? Yeah, so they get smaller, like they get bigger for a while, and then they get smaller, like some kind of crazy stuff like that. I'm not a mountainologist.
Well, due to erosion,
Yeah, they would wear away, I would think, after. Yeah.
They get shorter and longer.
Right.
Yeah, they start to plateau. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, too, like the Appalachian mountain range is, it goes further, like it's part of another range. I don't know. That stuff's so damn confusing when you go around. Look, we got KJ back again. KJ's going to go crazy.
I'm so
here.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, don't apologize. I mean, geez, this is just.
Can you hear me though? I'm gonna do my just my phone and see if it's the mic that maybe there's something. So anyway, I changed it. We'll see.
We can hear you. Just pretend you're talking into a mic. You sound fine. Sound fine. And, as long as it don't matter. Don't worry about it. What's up, Jaron Carter? So anybody, Gutters, you got any questions here for Doug? I mean, I don't want to hog all the questions here. KJ, you got anything for him? Anybody else, want to jump up, or I'll just keep batting away?
I'm super upset that I missed some of it because I was listening and it was cutting out. And so so I, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to, but. Keep on, y'all. I'm excited to listen.
Do a replay. Yeah.
Right. What about you, Toombs?
I'm upset because I don't know what happened. It wasn't my internet either. I think I've got to get my laptop checked out. Something's going on.
I think StreamYard's acting a little funky tonight.
Yeah, and it did that to me the other night when I was on when I was doing a stream too. So I don't know. I have no clue what's going on with it, but yeah, I missed part of it, so I'll have to go back and listen to it. But I am really interested in exploring. I enjoy looking at other religions, and I'm not I don't believe there's no. I'm not saying like I said, my Southern Baptist grandma, yes, but that's not like everybody. It's not every church. Everybody's a little different. That's just how my grandmother took it to be, because that's how her mother was. And
See,
and there we go. Is it just me? Okay. I was like, I thought it was. I'm someone's trying to get me to not listen. Like something's happening.
One of the funny things about religion. And this is one of the things I have trouble believing. I mean, I'm Catholic. I have my own religion, and I don't look at anybody else's in a different way. One thing I can't stand is judgmental people who think that that think they have the right to think that somebody else is, for say, going to hell or doing whatever they're doing. It's almost like a pompous opinion. Like, you know, you're so pious that you think that you can make that judgment based upon what you believe. Only God can make that decision, in 100%. My opinion. And I don't care if you're, you know, Muslim. I don't care if you're Buddhist. I don't care if you're Hindu or Southern Baptist or Catholic or, you know, like anything. It's not you making that decision. It's God making that decision. So, you know, that's kind of the way I look at those things. I don't like people going out there and, you know, damning other people. I got told that one time by.
Oh, I've been told that.
Yeah.
I've been told that quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. But I agree. I just, you know, I am not the judger. You know what I mean? At all. And that's why, I am totally on board with that.
Judge not lest you be judged. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's not you judge unless you be judged yourself. You know, the whole thing. And like, who are you? Are you God? You know, like you're judging me? Like, no. And people say that too. They're like, you're going to go to hell for doing that. And I'm like, man, not for doing that. I'm sure I did something worse. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to be the one that gets me. I promise you.
No.
Yeah. People with religion. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a personal thing, I think, and it's one of those things I don't like to go out there and push out on other people. You know,
no, and you know, and that's one thing in the Bible is that they say
everyone
prayer,
there?
Yeah, it just says that prayer is in private. You know, it's a private relationship between you and God. It basically.
Nope. Oh no, the sound is.
She broke her iPad or whatever. Not broke it, but you know she can't hear me talking about her. So she was actually, you know, driving. Typical women drive. She was trying to pull into a parking spot, and it flew up. And she's back. Okay. Yeah. There you go. I'll tell the story later. Maybe
I
she's
can't
not
hear
back.
anybody but you. Literally.
Well, nobody else is talking.
This is my worst fucking nightmare.
I was waiting because I wasn't sure if anybody could hear me.
Nightmare. I can't hear anybody but you.
Yeah, this is your dream come true. Leave and come back.
No, it's not.
Leave and come back. I'm in your head now.
You son of a bitch. Luckily, I can see Nathan laughing, and I'm like, okay.
I feel like we're in a Zoom meeting.
Okay, I can also hear.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
That's so weird. I guess I need to go. Right?
I'm just
leave and come back. Leave and come back.
No, leave. Why? She doesn't need to leave.
I hear you.
Oh God, this is
Thank God.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I thought I was having a nightmare while I'm awake.
I have that effect on women.
But I can't hear Doug. He's talking. Can you hear? I can't hear Doug.
Can you hear me now?
Or Nathan.
Nope.
Okay, leave and come back then. Leave and come back.
Damn it.
All right, go for it. So Doug, I think we've kind of talked about this stuff before. Like, what is the scariest situation you've ever been in doing this stuff? Like, some stuff that made you be like, you know, holy shit, you know, what the hell's going on here? This has to be, like, I know you. One of the things I like about you the most is you look for like the rational. You look for the rational. What do you call it? Answer, you know, in lesser words, to what is going on before you jump the gun and go straight to, you know, it's got to be paranormal. You know what I mean? Look for a rational description of what it is. What's something that's made you actually question that and really be like, you know, this might actually be funky? Or has that never happened?
It's hard for me to get unnerved, to be honest with you. And that's not me just trying to sound tough or anything. It's hard for me, you know. Honestly, I think that what we experienced at the Euroshrine with Chasing Ravens would probably scare off most people. And that was really just a tough situation of just things just being really nasty and mean. I think that whenever you do, and we very rarely run into anything, and I'm still skeptical as to what we were experiencing. I'm not going to say it was a ghost, it was anything like that. It could have just, you know, been a really mean frequency. I don't know. Maybe we tuned into the wrong radio station. But you know, for that though, I think that though there was. I would say, honestly, for me, the most unsettling thing that I've ever had to experience would be a case that, you know, we'll probably talk a little bit more because we're getting ready to relaunch something that we call the Window Bros Files, where we talked about the shops of 1910. And the Shops of 1910 was kind of like, it was a scary situation that we ended up in, but it was just because it was more of an initiation kind of deal, like, hey, welcome to the real world sort of thing, where, and again, speaking of religion, I got, that night I got stung by a honeybee, had an allergic reaction. We had tourists in there that they were kept separate from us, so that way they wouldn't compromise our investigation, that were saying there were internet influencers there, and they would come running up to us and show us like these smart, intelligent answers that they were getting about us. And whenever we went upstairs, on the way up there, I said, here it is, our first real investigation as a team. I'm going to get something attached to me. And as soon as I sat down, like, our spirit box said, I'm attached to you. And I said, bullshit, and it's, but at that moment though, I said, okay, may Jesus bless this room. And every light went out in that. It was, our flashlights drained, our headlamps drained, every single light drained at that point. And all of our batteries died too. And even at the end of that episode, you'll hear me just say, I think I'm actually talking. And I said, well, maybe it was just, I forgot to charge them last night, which I know I didn't. And I said, it just all seemed a little bit in the spirit box as coincidental. And I said, bullshit, that didn't just happen. It was very unsettling. Now, as far as like, we've had cases come to us that, where people have called us or talked to us, and we've handled situations online, that those are the ones that really disturb me. We had one situation, and we had we call that case the Blue Nun case. And so with the Blue Nun case,
yeah, that just sounds scary to start with.
Yeah. So that was the Blue Nun case. And so we had an individual contact me, and this individual had said that, that they were being haunted by a blue nun and a shadow figure at nighttime. And so turned out they were experiencing pretty severe sleep paralysis. But during every episode of sleep paralysis, and whenever I say that these things are scary to me, it's usually because more of it's a human condition,
right?
And so they were experiencing severe sleep paralysis, but occasionally, they would see a shadow figure, creeping towards them, and whenever it would get close to them, a blue nun would appear, and that feeling would go away, and they could move again. And I, for some reason, call it intuition, call it gut feeling. I said, I don't feel like you're telling me everything that's going on. I said, have you ever had any previous trauma, anything bad happen to you? And they said, well, no, I had a pretty normal childhood. And I said, okay. I said, well, I think you're just dealing with sleep paralysis. Well, fast forward, and about a week later, they approached me again, and they said, to be honest with you, I am hiding something from you. And again, I'm going to try to say this as delicately as I possibly can. But whenever this individual was a child, they had a family friend move in, and that family friend was taking advantage of them as a child. So it was a really bad situation. So they blocked out that memory, and that memory became basically the shadow figure. And so, whenever we really got to the deep part of that, and I was able to kind of identify what the real problem was, she also knew she would also go to church, and she got to know a nun that wore blue garb, and she always felt very safe around this individual. So in a way, her mind was the thing that was haunting her. She was manifesting these quite literal, demons, like, it was a human condition. And that was a case where, I said, okay, so you're first of all, you're going to have to go talk to somebody. I'm not a licensed therapist. You're going to have to go to therapy. And so they went to therapy, and I said, if you ever just need to talk, you ever want to just check in, and just see what your progress is, we can do that. I'm hearing myself again. No, but it's, on that, I said, how's your diet? How's this? How's your sleep hygiene? Well, obviously they weren't sleeping well. So the first thing we did was, 1, get hydrated, 2, work on your sleep, 3, eat right. And then we'll see how these things go. Well, fast forward, they messaged me back and they said, hey, it's been a few months, but that stuff is completely stopped. And so, it's one of those situations where, we believe in hauntings, but typically the hauntings come from folks that are going through something pretty severe. And so, where the Window Bros side of us comes in is that, we truly are the bros. We care more about everyday people than, and it's not to be facetious or mean, we care more about individuals and everyday people like we meet at Saucers Over Appalachia than we do working like with big haunted places and other paranormal teams, because we want to go where the story is, and there's some things we don't release, and for that, that individual, we 100% keep their identity hidden. We don't release any kind of details like that. We'll keep files, and then we get explicit permission to say, hey, we're not going to release any details about you, but are you okay with us sharing your story? So things like that are the things that keep me up at night. And to be honest with you, after that particular one, I don't think that I really, I felt sick to my stomach. I just really, I wasn't in a good headspace for about 2 weeks after that. So, that's where the bro side comes in. And, we always tell people, and we're pretty thankful that people think that we're approachable enough for us to hear that. And I think that, a lot of people can't afford things like therapy. A lot of people can't afford a lot these days, and they're just looking for somebody to really listen to them and not be judged. And that's what we always try to do. So, but I guess going back on the more paranormal side of things, another one I found was creepy, and I always kick myself because I never made it out there. But we had 2 separate nursing homes reach out to us, and they said that both these nursing homes were reporting coyotes showing up in the middle of the night, and the coyotes were emaciated. And in the evening, they would come up. And if you've ever heard a coyote, especially out in Georgia, I heard a lot of them. They sound terrifying at nighttime. Coyotes have a crazy howl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially
they're
during
scary. They
yeah.
scream.
They scream.
They scream.
They sound very human. And so these coyotes would come up to these nursing homes screaming. And both nursing homes were reporting that whenever they would show up, somebody in the nursing home would die. And as they were taking these bodies out, they would look up in the second-story windows in both locations, and they would see a dark figure standing in the window at both of them. And that's one that I was bound and determined to get to. This was in Nashville. We never got out there, and we always talk about trying to get back out there. Can anybody see my screen?
Yeah. My internet.
Okay. God, I thought it was
StreamYard
just me.
just
I was going to get
something
so
weird.
mad.
KJ's back. Jim Whitty in the chat says, when I was 10, I was sitting on the edge of the driveway. A girl's dressed in a blue top and bottom was walking towards me. When she passed me, her outfit changed to one from the early 1900s. That's creepy right there.
Yeah.
Probably a better
Or
outfit,
not.
to be honest. Yeah, I don't know.
Or
I mean,
not.
kind of like a, flapper coming out there or something like that. It'd be like, oh, hell yeah, this is we're jiving now.
Oh, yeah.
Like if it's nowadays,
she
they'd be
was
wearing
very
like,
talented.
sweatpants at, Walmart and turns into a flapper. That would be absolutely awesome.
Well, it was funny. I was reading his comment over in my chat, and that was the first thing that popped into my head. Like before I finished reading it, when he said the color of the top, that's like that turn of the early 1900s where they wore those shirt-waisted. They call
Right.
them those tops with the skirts. So that
Love
popped into
'em.
my brain before I even finished reading the
Right,
comment.
exactly.
I was like, okay,
Exactly.
that was a little weird, but yeah.
Hey,
I'm not as good as you guys. It was 1970s, man, and running shorts, a tank top, hot chick, blonde. Totally missed the point, I guess. In my own little world.
Everybody's got their own thing about what that meant. Early
Yeah.
1900s. So Doug, there is a question here I starred here that I wanted to get back to. Little Miss Red Velvet. So she asked, expand on mean frequency. What is that? So that was one from a minute ago. I didn't want to interrupt your story as you were going, but I'm kind of curious too because I'm not exactly sure. So.
Yeah, so with that, though, I think I was actually just making a joke about the we found a bad radio station. Now, if we do want to talk about frequencies, we do think that our personal belief in the Window Bros, and one thing we talk about whenever we present at festivals and classes is the idea of frequencies. So with frequencies, we believe that's everything. So, the thing about whenever you... and this is going to be a controversial opinion. I don't know how much I believe in ghosts, especially after dealing with this stuff for so long now, and getting out and experiencing it for myself, and things within my childhood and things making sense a lot more whenever I got older. I do believe that everything that we're dealing with has everything to do with frequency. And so with that being said, is that whenever you pass, you don't, not every part of you dies. And the reason why I say that is from a molecular level and an atomical level, your atoms don't die, they don't dissipate, they just go somewhere. So that part of you remains. The other thing that I find fascinating is that at death is that there is a bioluminescence. So at the moment of death, doctors are actually able to photograph the body emitting large bodies of heat coming out too. And then it just kind of goes away right at the moment of passing.
Yeah.
And so I think with all that being said is that typically whenever we're dealing with something, I think that we are dealing with something very residual. I think that there's an imprint there. I think there's an imprint of memory. I think that if your atoms and molecules are out there floating around, they may remember an idea of itself and may repeat that. They may hold on to some kind of bare bones. I guess if you wanted to put it in movie terms, if you think about Dr. Manhattan rebuilding himself during that scene where he just kind of, goes atomical, that would be a good representation of that. But that's the reason. And where I say I don't believe in ghosts, I think that we're dealing with phases or memories. And again, I'm putting on my conspiracy hat. Is that I also believe that we do probably have parallel dimensions. And I think that, and I heard a really good analogy from a neuroscientist, and I'll have to look up her name, but it's, she gave an analogy of, if there are the true ideas of parallel dimensions, you could be in a active or haunted location where another person on another plane of existence is also at that active haunted location, and it wouldn't be surprising as you're investigating, you both scare each other, and that you both think that you're the ghost of that location. So it's fascinating stuff. So I believe fully in frequency, and frequencies aren't things that you can really debate. I mean, there's a frequency for everything, and those are things that you can't really see. It's tangible, it's real. And I think that's probably a lot of, where the proof comes into this kind of thing. I think that if you go into an area that has been vastly populated, whether anybody died there or anything traumatic happened, you take a lot of good energy or bad energy. You could also have, residual imprints in there too, and you could just be picking up on that stuff too. It's not unlike, you going into a room and you just kind of feel, whenever you walk into a room, it can have a very oppressive atmosphere, or you just know that something happened here, and typically your gut and intuition's right. That's the reason I don't really buy into the label psychic mediums, because I think that everybody has some kind of capability, because you have to think in terms of our brains. Our brains are quantum computers. That's exactly what they are. We have nothing but electrical synapses happening all the time. And even the idea of pain, hurting ourselves, that's just our brain signaling, hey, this is happening in your body right now. Again, I can talk for a while about that.
You have a aura about you when you go, anybody living.
Yeah.
And you can actually see it with certain glasses and stuff like that. So at the moment that you die, all of that energy pools together. Yeah. And what looks like your spirit comes out of your body. Now, whether it's spirit or not, that electrical energy in your body is your spirit. So it would flow in and get absorbed into the earth itself.
No, you're right. Yeah.
It caused a memory. So anywhere in that room, you could stick yourself in there and never come out. Like you could stick the energy in there and not want to come out and move from there. So staying and haunting the same place, not necessarily haunting, you just don't want to leave.
Yeah, you just don't want to leave.
Yeah. So if it was up to me, I'd walk the earth forever.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% of that. Like, I would love to explore the world and just go be a pest for everybody. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I got a list of people I'm gonna hang out with.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We could wear black suits and be
Wait,
the men in
hang out
black and
with or
piss people
hunt?
off.
Wow.
Wait,
It's a
he said
fine line,
list.
KJ. It's a fine line,
Potato,
you know.
potato.
I mean, I've been haunting you for
Potato.
quite a few years now, and I mean, I just call it hanging out. Hey, we do have kind of an interesting question coming in here. I paused on this. Equal wanting to know, what do you think happens when haunted places get raised and McMansions placed on the exact site? You know, it's kind of interesting. Do you decipher that? What do you think about that? I mean, do you think it's, I guess raised, how would you say raised? Is that like torn down, I guess?
Torn down, yeah.
Right. I mean, do you think that, you know, when they tear it down, take it to the dump, the haunting leaves with it? Or is it the actual location? And I think that's what she's asking, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think honestly, I'll kind of revert back to Nathan. I think that he had a really good analogy right there. That whenever your energy, you know, dissipates, it goes to the ground. You know, that's the whole reason why we say, you know, grounding in a way. You have electrical currents at any given time going through the ground. You know, I would encourage anybody to go put their bare feet on it. But it's go touch grass. But yeah, it's. You know, I think that Nathan pretty much already answered that question, that, you know, energy doesn't really get displaced. I think that it would probably be absorbed into some place like, you know, the ground. You have a high moisture content, and they already have electrical currents going through there too, not to mention man-made electrical currents. You know, as far as like, and I'll be honest with you, you know, one thing that we talk about is that just because a building is new doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be active. I have experienced a very new home be incredibly active, and it was the first people ever in there. And again, I think it was because the high. It actually turned out to be an Indian burial ground, and there were.
You mean poltergeist, right?
Well,
That story was his childhood home.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
we have dealt with poltergeist before, but it wasn't a poltergeist. It turned out to be a toddler. But it's yeah,
Turned out to be a same thing, right?
Wait,
yeah, it turned out to be a toddler. Yeah.
wait, you can't
So-
stop there.
So the thing about poltergeist, you know, and the best analogy I ever heard for a poltergeist is that it's never just one entity that it could be throwing these things around. It's not, and there's a lot of buzzwords now, like tricksters or pranksters and demons. You know, that's the big one right now. But the way the best analogy I ever heard for a poltergeist is that you have an intersection. You have a four-way intersection, and so you have all this energy and all these frequencies coming together at the same time, but none of them yield, none of them stop at the stop sign, and they just crash. And that's your explosion of energy there, which could, you know, again, a good theory, I think. But, you know, the toddler situation, we had an individual that was playing with a Ouija board, and they reached out to us, and they were actually trying to contact their deceased mother. And I thought the funniest thing about this was that this person was an atheist, did not believe in anything, or so she thought, and pulled out a Ouija board in order to make contact with her deceased mother. And I said, well, if you're an atheist, why do you think you're going to make contact? And she said, well, you know, and grief's a funny thing. Grief's a funny thing, and it'll make you do things that you didn't think that you're going to do before. Well, there's already this paranoia surrounding Ouija boards. For me, I believe that everything is about intention. I believe that manifestation is a very real thing. So if you go into a Ouija board and you're planning on making contact, and you already have the stigma about a Ouija board, you're probably going to get spooked, and hence you're going to end up haunting yourself.
100% done it.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up haunting yourself. So
Yeah.
you know, and again, it's so funny, and I know I bounce around a lot, but whenever we were at the witches retreat, I was telling the story, and again with the witches retreat, it's mostly women, and I said, what is the one thing that women are notorious about not doing? And they got real quiet, and I knew that, you know, I was walking on, you know, thin ice.
The dishes.
and I said,
Laundry on time.
It's got a million.
We can go all night on this one, brother.
All right. Doug, please
Food's
continue.
never ready, right?
that if I know my wife, then they are bad about not hydrating and drinking enough water. Women never drink
You're
enough
kidding.
water.
Well,
I'm
no,
not
you
kidding.
go,
That's
but
what-
whatever.
So, and every woman in there said, "No, he's right. Yeah, we don't drink enough water." And we
Bullshit. I drink a shit ton of water and I work out all the time, but whatever. Go ahead. Continue, Doug.
We should have said shut their mouths. Shots fired.
But boom.
But yeah.
But no, sorry. But
so we had that talk, and they all
As I
agreed.
drink
Yeah, and you know, because my wife, she'll come home and she'll say, "I think I'm dying." I said, "Well, have you had any water?" "Well, no, not in a week," and that's usually what happens.
Not a week.
wow.
And
that is
she's in the chat right somewhere. So I'm
Yes,
scrolling
somewhere.
down. I'm going to
Somewhere.
find this. She's probably going to come and yell at you.
But it's so we were talking about that. So the case, this particular case is that we found was for one, you know, she was grieving her mother, so yeah, she wasn't taking care of herself, she wasn't sleeping right, and she was using a Ouija board, which opens up, you know, a lot of paranoia. And so with that being said, she thought that she had summoned a poltergeist because things were being thrown around. There were a lot of doors being slammed. And she said, "Well, you know, I don't know what's going on here. Can you come check it out?" So we went and checked it out, and didn't really see anything going on, and there was nothing really happening on that. And you know, we looked at video footage that she was showing me about things being thrown around. I said, "Well, are you?" I said, "First of all, get rid of the Ouija board." And, you know, and there's a lot of controversy around it. You know, I said, "Just close the session, you know, get rid of the Ouija board. And then from there, what I want you to do is just, you know, throw it away. Just get rid of it." And so she said, "Okay, I'll do that." And so she got rid of the Ouija board. And sure enough, you know, I said, "Are you drinking right? Are you eating right? Are you sleeping right?" "No, none of those things, none of all the above." And I said, "Okay, start doing that." And so after all was said and done, about a week later, she says, "Hey, you know, it all stopped. The poltergeist activity stopped." I said, "Yeah." I said, "You weren't being haunted." I said, "You're haunting yourself." I said, "But this was all, you know, manifestation in your own mind." Well, about a week later, she goes, "Hey, I feel really stupid." And one thing we always say is, "Don't feel stupid." And I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Well, I looked at security footage a little bit more, and my toddler had been throwing things around and slamming doors, and it was never poltergeist. It was my toddler." So, and that was the Fort Payne poltergeist. So
that's why she wasn't sleeping well.
yeah.
Right, exactly. She's got a toddler. I mean, that's going to make you not sleep well.
That was the poltergeist.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
I've said it.
Comment from a big dog. I can make a good water salesman. Here, look what I mean.
I think Doug actually works in the water industry.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Do you remember back when water used to be, you know, like one day you thought about it, it was like, wow, one day water is going to be more expensive than gas. And you know, that is kind of upside down right now. But a lot of times, I mean, you go in there and buy a bottle of water at the gas station now, and, you know, it'll be like, you know, $3.12 or something for a bottle of water. I'm like, give me back the garden hose.
No, I'm going to be honest. I usually just have my own cup, and I fill it with ice and water every time I leave the house. And I have it in my vehicle, and I have it everywhere. I mean, that's just what I do. I think a lot of women actually do that, which is, you know.
Not this one.
Not this one.
Well, a lot
I'm bad.
of
I'm
women
bad
that
about
I
it.
know.
Statistics.
But I also, I mean, my job is, you know, I mean, fitness. If you know, you sweat all the time, you drink water all the time.
I like my Diet Coke a little too much.
No,
y'all and your
That's my
soda.
only
Drink water.
demon. I have,
Drink water.
no, whatever. Whatever. But I was gonna.
Okay.
I was just
But
gonna say
listen.
that I agree with Doug because I believe too. I'm just gonna get this out. I've tried like 4 times now. So
Okay.
about the whole poltergeist activity because that is one that always bothers me the most. And like the first thing, right? Like you watch the Ghost Hunters, all the shows, not the Ghost Hunter, not like I'm not picking on one show, but you'll watch and they're like, we've got poltergeist activity. It's a demon, and it's and then they start talking to the family, and you can tell they're all like bejiggity. They're like all just like, are you sleeping? You can tell they're not sleeping. They're like all, you know, they're all freaking out. And I experienced this myself, like when my mom was in hospice. We had stuff falling, getting knocked over. you manifest a whole lot of things. Like your mind is a whole lot stronger it's a whole lot stronger than you give it credit for. Like you can definitely be manifesting a whole lot of negative energy, just as you can come into a space and be like, this is my happy space, or whatever people do. Like you want to bring good juju into an area, you can bring negativity into it too. And sure enough, you could knock your own things off. You could knock over glasses.
Do you think that's it? Because I was in hospice with my dad, but it was very a more positive. Do you think that you think that happened?
Yeah, it was definitely with my mom's pet, because she was very she wasn't accepting
She
of
was
it.
fighting it. She was
very much so, because it was far too soon. She still thought she had a lot left to do. So, and we were all and it was just really, I was the only kid of hers that was here. So it was really just, so she was reacting and I was reacting, and the two of us together, I mean, stuff flew, doors slammed, and no toddler. I wish I could blame it on one, but just the teenager, which he was upset too. So God, that probably worked into all of it as well. So, but yeah, I think we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we make a lot of our own ghost. Sleep paralysis, get therapy. Do that first if you can, because that's usually there's some PTSD or something usually. And once I get therapy, my sleep paralysis stopped. So it's just a lot of those things. Think of a logical reason for it, and if you can get rid of all, you can check all those boxes, like, okay, it's not this, then okay, maybe you do have something going on. But
I mean, don't they say most of the time when people suffer sleep paralysis, it is in like a time of either overly stressed, lack of sleep. I've only had it like twice in my life, but it was horrifying. I saw somebody earlier talk about that. They were like, sleep paralysis is horrifying. Yeah. It is horrifying. And, I've only had it twice, but it was weird. I mean, you get into the old hag, you get into all, the hat men and all, people see the same things and all that. I mean, that's probably a manifestation in your own mind, but it is horrifying, like to be sitting there and not be able to move in your mind, like you're still asleep, but you're awake, and it's in, it's obviously there's something amiss there. I don't really believe there's some, old hag sneaking into your house and trying to strangle you. I don't believe that.
I can see how you would feel that way.
Yeah.
You feel like something is like holding you down, sitting on top of you. It's freaking terrifying. But yeah, there's psychology behind that and it usually is times of stress. Like I can name every time that I had issues with mine, and it was always a breakup or something going on that caused it. But yeah, thank God, knock on wood, I haven't had it in years and years. Another good thing too, sleep on your side if you can.
Amen.
Become a side sleeper.
Yeah.
The old hag can't strangle you if you're on your side.
Can't get you when you're on your side. Yeah.
The old hag.
Wait, I think I've been trying to train myself to sleep on my back because of my neck issues. So that's interesting. Did you used to sleep on your back?
Yeah, all the time. I was a back sleeper until my mid-20s, and not after a while. When you get tired of like being woke up at like, and you're like, and then you can't go back to sleep.
I'm trying to train myself to do it.
And now I'm just terrified to go back because I'm like, well, what did the therapy work, or did I just?
Once you go back, you never. Anyway, sorry. Sorry.
Watch it now.
But I have been trying to train myself. But I do sleep on my side. However, don't sleep on your tummy. It'll hurt your neck. Anyway.
I sleep on my tummy a lot, actually, and my neck doesn't usually hurt.
Oh man, I had some serious neck and back issues from doing that my whole life. So just saying.
I end up whatever. Usually it's like a half tummy, half side sort of situation, and I'm like, I'm trying like starfish. Yeah.
So I've got a question here, and I kind of want everybody's answer on this one, like everybody up here. So and maybe I'll go last, so I don't deter. So we were talking about Ouija boards earlier. What are y'all's thoughts on Ouija boards and like the legitimacy of them and stuff like that? Gutters go first.
Nope, I'm not playing with them. Nope.
But I mean, do you think? I don't. Whether
Yes,
or not
I
you
believe-
use them or not, do you believe that that it is
Yes.
real? That is
Obviously,
a real way
I'm
to
scared shitless
communicate.
of them. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I feel scared. I don't want nothing to do with them. I do believe there's some kind of woo-woo shit goes on with them. I don't mess with them.
Can you
never
define
have.
woo-woo?
Woo-woo.
So you never have, like as a kid or
Never.
at a friend's? Okay.
Nope.
So you've never even touched one. You're that scared of them that you
Yeah, I don't.
never touched one.
Actually, my daughter brought one home when she was a teenager, and yeah, she had to take it away. I made her get rid of it. So
I mean, did you beat her or did you just say
no,
Did you?
I was
beat
not happy.
She beat her with the board.
Take it?
Definitely.
Like no more wire coat hangers, no more Ouija.
Yeah, that's right.
I told you not to bring those Ouija boards.
All right.
All right, Nathan. What say you? See, and I want the scientific. Nathan's the scientist
yeah,
here, so let's hear it from Nathan. I want to hear what you got for us.
I don't give one shit. Put that thing right in front of me. We'll do it. You ain't got no fear in my heart.
But you've never done it.
No. Like, I died almost a couple times doing stuff. Okay, you're not going to freak me out with a little board. Yeah, you bring it on. You bring the ghost. You bring
You're
everything.
like A,
You
B,
get- I mean, what demon's going to tell me something? I'll just zap it again. I mean, look, you ain't
Yes.
getting nowhere with me. That's the problem. Okay, and it's not that I don't believe, because I'd love for something to walk through the wall. I'll be like, dude, you walk through the wall. That's badass. I'm walking through with you. Hold my hand. Let's go. You know what I
That's
mean?
what's
There's no fear. You want to talk through my body? You want to dance around, paint my pecker, and do a dance in the front yard? Let's do it. But you know what? I have no fear whatsoever of it. Not one little bit. Okay.
Wow.
There's nothing embarrassing you could do to me to
The
make it
Ouija
worse,
board
okay?
is lucky.
No, anything. I don't
know.
None of that stuff.
The
You
Ouija
can go
board
to
is
any
lucky.
location you want and play the game. Okay, I have no problem, because once you start looking at things in a scientific perspective, like I do, there's nothing that's going to shock me. Nothing whatsoever. Okay, you could rise up from the ground, say hello, do a little dance. I'd be right there with you. We're doing the jig. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes. Okay, you're not freaking me out. It's just not going to work unless you're my wife. Then that woman freaks me out all the time. That's the only way. It would, like, if it said WIFE, I'd be fucked. Other than that, we're good.
Oh my God.
Now the pecker is what you use to go to the letters and stuff, right? Is that-
Oh, yeah,
That's what they call that. The pecker.
Help
oh no, a
me.
planchette. I'm sorry. No.
yeah, it's like an Indian thing, man. When you're out there with fucking painted peckers doing the dance around the fire. That's
I've never
the-
seen a painted.
Well, it's a sausage fest you missed. See?
Yeah.
You got to get in an Indian tent, smoke it out, you know what I mean? Hot box it, and go all out the peckers
Next
out
year.
painted.
Next year,
That's
Yeah.
right.
Next year, sausage.
painted
Yeah.
pecker festival.
Yeah.
Pecker Fest.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so Nathan gives us a scientific pecker description.
I don't know how
His
scientific
thoughts.
that was.
I don't know how exactly.
All right, Tombstones, what say you?
Well, I have one, so
Oh my God, I get that thing.
You do not
Yeah.
still have a Ouija board. No, you don't.
yeah, mine's from Salem too. So like I got it right from the horse's mouth. So to
Salem,
speak.
Oregon?
But, Salem, Mass.
Oh, okay. Just making
Yeah.
sure.
Like my shirt says. To me,
You
they're
do not
not.
have one sitting by you.
No.
Show it again.
No.
It's on my wall. It's
Holy
art.
sheep shit.
Yeah, it's an actual. See, it's got two sides too, just in
Oh, I
case one
see it.
doesn't work right. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's backwards because my screen, but yeah. So I'm not afraid of them. I can see why people would be, because there's all that. I mean, but
Mhm.
it's made by Parker Brothers, or I don't actually know who made this one, but I mean, it's mass produced.
Mhm.
I hear like even like people who do professional ghost hunting say, "Oh, I'll never touch a Ouija board," but then they're playing with like Ovulus, you know, the spirit boxes and everything else, and it's like, how is
Same
that any
thing.
different?
Same
It's
thing.
the
That's a
same
good
damn thing.
point.
And people use. I've seen the old school, like you take the two pencils and put them like cross them, and you put yes or no, and the pencil goes like yes or. There's so many different, and everything is what you put into it. Like if I sat here and said, "Come on, devil," I'm not. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get something really. Yeah, I'm just telling her no.
Do you use it though? Have you?
I've used it, and very rare. I've gotten only good things because I put out what I want back. I put out good things. I ask nice questions. I'm not an asshole.
You're like, should I go pee right now?
Kill yourself. I don't do. That's just bullshit. Like those people are just doing it for performance. Performance value, and that's it.
What would you use it for?
So I do live on a haunted piece of property, pretty haunted, and I've chatted with who I believe the people are that lived here because I verified some of it because I also do the history aspect of it. Like I do like to do my research.
Right.
And so I've talked to those people, they told me how they died and I went and verified it. And I'm pretty sure I did talk to those people, but you just, whatever intention you're putting into something, make sure it's good. And if you're walking into it, you're touching it, I'm afraid. Yeah. Don't touch it then. Just leave it alone. If you're afraid of it, don't touch it. That's a good idea. Don't play with it. Don't play with any of that stuff if it frightens you. So.
If you're scared of it, don't play with it.
Yeah.
Something
is telling you not to do it, so listen to it. Yeah. But I'm not afraid of this one. I'd buy 20 more if I could. But yeah, this is just the one I have. It's just got some sentimental value because it came from Salem and that's where my people are from. So,
All right, so we'll let Doug go last. So KJ, what say you?
I mean, I grew up with my older sisters, grew up with all the, the spooky talk and all the stuff and grew up playing with them. And it was scary, and I was very young. And it was scary. Now, was it real? I don't know. I mean, I felt like it was at the time. But I mean, we're talking middle school, that age where you're light as a feather, stiff as a board type of stuff. If you ever played that game when you were a young girl.
That was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And used to go to haunted. So, I mean, Ouija boards, I believe if you believe, obviously I'm a believer in Christ and such. And I feel like it depends. Yeah, I think that could be a scary thing for The Exorcist. No, I'm just kidding.
As her head spins around.
But I mean, I think it's I think if you let anything in, it's possible. I don't know. If you believe in the good, you believe in the bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just
one
kind of where
can't
I'm
exist
at.
without the other.
Exactly. So but I mean, it is a game, right? You buy it at the store, but I feel like if you invite anything in, I don't know. I don't want one now, isn't it? Yeah, that's terrifying to me. But as a kid, I was, it was just part of my childhood. So I don't know. Weird. You never know.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And that's kind of the way I look at it too. It's like something that I believe you can it could work if if you invited it and willed it to work in some kind of way. Do I believe Parker Brothers or whatever is putting out some kind of thing to some transport to, all these other things. But I mean, I think a playing card could work if you wanted it. That's what you wanted it to be, and you manifested that. I personally don't like messing with them. I only did it once in my life, and it was creepy and was somebody else's movie. You don't even know. You don't know what really happened, but it's not something that I don't like inviting things into my life that I don't want in my life. And that always seemed like a window to be able to do that. So that's kind of where I've always stood on those. I don't disbelieve in them, but I don't really believe in them. I think anything could be that. What say you, Doug?
I 100% agree with Tombstones, especially with that passionate response. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think it's 100% intention. And again, I think that I could pick up anything in here right now on my phone, and my phone, is probably creepier than, a Ouija board, because it's always listening, and, I can think about something and it pops up on there. At the same time, though, we use those as teachable moments at a lot of places too. And my wife and I, we actually, we make something called spirit dice, which is kind of like a Ouija board for your pocket. So it's hand painted dice with letters and numbers and cross and pentacle, and we actually sell those whenever we go out. But we also use them as an investigative tool, along with teachable moments as well too. And it's shocking on how many people say they don't believe in this stuff, but they don't want to touch that stuff. And I always, it's very
That's
ironic.
interesting.
It's very ironic because, we were at the festival, and I said, well, it's not going to bite you, and I picked it up and I would just roll it, and and I've seen Ouija boards. It to me, they don't frighten me. They don't make me nervous. And maybe I'm different in that regard. But it's all about intention. If I go in, and that's what I always tell everybody, if you go into anything with a negative mindset, or if you go looking for trouble, you're probably going to find it. Don't go in there and the Echo Tombstone, if you go in there and you say, oh, am I going to kill myself? I'm going to do this, is I'm summoning the devil. You're probably going to get some bad juju. And that's probably more of a mental block than anything that you're putting on yourself. Long story short, no, I don't believe that there's any harm so long as you go into it with the right intentions. And again, you're not there to invite things, you're there to communicate. And it should just be used for a communication tool. I've had some incredible things come through on Spirit Dice. I remember getting into a lot of trouble as a child. My mother did not want a Ouija board in our house, and my brother did bring one into the house. And me being a stupid 5-year-old kid, I didn't know what it was. So I'm over there with the planchette, just going all over it, and having a great time. And she was like, "Where did you get that?" My brother brought it in. It wasn't my fault, but it's but no, nothing ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. I do believe that, if you do it the right way and you put your fingers on it with a group of people, and it's meant to be kind of a parlor game by Parker Brothers. If you're all pressing on it at the same time, that planchette, you're naturally going to move. And I think subconsciously you're going to guide something to where you want it at. Now, I think that is your subconscious telling you, yeah, this is my intent to go here. And group think and group panic is a very real thing. But now, is there anything mystical to them? Yeah, probably. But again, I think that any object that you have that you want to put some kind of intention behind could be considered within that realm as well. That's all.
I've never thought of that. You could be leaving.
Yeah.
But I always do.
People mess with me.
With the Ouija board?
Oh, yeah. I got messed with, for sure.
You never got teased as a child.
No,
not with
bean stuff. So I think exactly. I think if you have a group of kids, especially, but I've never done it as an adult. I'm just not going to do that. I got enough issues. I'm not going to go pull out my Ouija board with a bunch of people and be like, let's see what happens.
That's what happens when people come to my house. They're like, hey, what's that?
I got enough shit going on. You know what I mean?
Let's try it.
I'm the opposite, because I go to these places and people are
No
like,
way.
and they'll say, you have that, and I'm like, yeah, you want to try it out? And they're like, no, and and it's so funny, how scared other investigators are of this kind of thing, but it's, I'm like, yeah, let's try it out. I'm very much like, yeah, let's pull it out. Let's see what happens. I'm all about testing catalyst and seeing what we can get.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play it safe.
But it doesn't come from a place of disrespect. It's just saying, hey, if we're going to try to prove the existence of something, we have to test every variable.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to prove it's right, then you got to play it. You got to.
Yeah.
But
wow.
I played with these things. Every slumber party I ever had.
For sure. No, when I was a kid too.
What is that?
But every slumber never.
But you don't have. I mean, when's the last time you did it with a group though?
Last time you did it with a group? Well, that's some balls.
Come on.
Well, actually, no, just this spring. My bestie and I pull it out. Like every time she comes here, we pull it out.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead, Nathan. Go.
No, I'm not being like, I'm actually like, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I use it. Like I said, it's a tool, and sometimes it's just because we're just sitting here. We're like, let's just have some, like, we're just gonna ask some questions, and yeah, maybe we get something. Sometimes we'll sit there, nothing happens. Like absolutely, like nothing moves, nothing happens. And then sometimes it's like boop boop boop. It's doing a bunch of stuff. So it's just kind of.
But do you like light candles and all the stuff? Because we did that, you know.
It is not a dildo.
Good gosh.
It's like
They
the
call it a
cats that have to
planchette
go-
these days. They call it a
We'll put their
planchette.
hands on it and see which way it goes.
Y'all.
No, it's like a ball that's hanging somewhere, and the cat just has to
Y'all.
keep going by and cuffing it.
I'm
my
like
God.
literally trying to
I have
have.
cat balls.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
jeez.
Hey, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to be on here for about another 20 minutes. I do see some people in chat that may have a question or something to add to this. I'm going to drop the link. If anyone wants to call in, ask Doug a question, or give their own thoughts on this, you're more than welcome to. Anybody else want to drop the link, you can. We try to keep these to 2 hours, but yes, we got about another 20 minutes before we're going to wrap it up. But if anybody wants to call in, give their thoughts, here is the link. Here, I'll put it in. Join.
Doug, I do want to say, like, I love that you're not just like, this is the way it is. This is what I'm, like you actually are logical about everything. I just love that. And I love that it's very cool to hear you talk about it.
Yeah. We don't go in there. There's a lot of paranormal drama out there.
Sure.
A lot of it, and it's
because emotions, right?
Well,
Feelings,
emotions, but you also have, you have your staunch believers, and it's so funny how they can be, they can believe everything, but they won't believe anything. Then you have the skeptic, and then you have the skeptics that just, they just want to be mean. And then, I'd like to think that we're kind of that in betweener. Yeah, we're probably going to go in there and test everything to make sure that nothing's going on. But at the same time, though, we test everything to make sure nothing's going on. So when something does happen, we can say, okay, that did happen. It for sure happened. Now, whether it's paranormal, what we look for are just, repeat objects. So like if something can repeat itself, and I always tell people all the time is don't go in there and throw down a dozen cat balls, 3 EMF detectors, your Christmas lights, don't throw out your spirit box and your cell phone, because it's all going to go off. And I do piss off a lot of people whenever I say things like that, but just use one at a time. Just use one at a time and see if you can repeat that. And if you can repeat it, then, you may have something going on. If not, then, it's, we recently did an investigation, and we walked in, and the individual was like, oh my gosh, my EMF is going like crazy. Like, look at the spike. And we were dealing with like very old light fixtures. And I was, and I'm a very touchy guy. So I said, well, let me see your hand. And I just raised it up and went to that light, and I said, "That's for your EMF. It's not a ghost. It's it's really bad electrical."
You got one of
Right.
one of Nathan's testicles going in the going in the back. Big shout out, Little Miss Red Velvet, gifting out a Traveling Fools membership. Thank you so much, Little Miss Red Velvet. I can't see who got that, but much appreciated. You are absolutely awesome. And we do have our first caller coming up. Let's see, we got well, hang on, I lost her. I brought her up. I think it was Mean Green. Mean Green, come back up and tell us what you thought. I just brought you up. But we do have another one coming in here. We got Gypsy coming up to ask us some questions. Gypsy, what's going on? How you doing, Gypsy? Where's my sandwich at, lady?
I'm sorry, guys. I've been really, really busy lately with a lot of stuff, so I haven't been able to dip in on Fridays. Sorry.
Well, no, we've missed you. I've been waiting on my sandwich forever. So what do you got for Doug here? What you got to say? And thanks again, Little Miss Red Velvet. You are awesome. Mean Green, come back up. I already did. It's the second time you left. You got to come back up. Tell us what you think. What you got, Gypsy?
Well, I think you guys have figured out by now that I'm actually a practicing priestess and ordained minister. So you guys are hitting my subjects pretty well, pretty hard. So if there's anything you need to ask, you can ask me. I'm living the life. I'm doing what you guys talk about, like pretty much with my daily life. I hit my pendulum quite frequently whenever I have questions.
Okay, wait. What I'm going to
from
do
the
here, I'm going to
guys.
bring like I said, we only got about 15 minutes left. We're going to run the show. I'm going to bring Mean Green back up here too. The layout only puts so many of us up here. Let me do this real quick. Hang on, y'all. I want to get KJ back up here as well. So what I'm going to do, y'all hold tight for 2 seconds. Mean Green, boom, boom. Let me put KJ back up there. Boom, boom. All right, everybody's up there. Yeah, we just always kind of protect our background. We know who you guys are, but it's just the layout I got going on right now.
Heck
So
yeah,
we
get us
got
all in
Gypsy
here.
and we have Mean Green up in here as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you guys are talking about a Ouija board. I actually own one that I also bought from, I guess, Parker Brothers a few years ago, just because it happened to be there and I thought it would be cool to add to the collection. It's made of cardboard. It folds in half. I've never used it.
Big shout out, Little Miss Red
KJ,
Velvet,
we're
gifting out
hearing some
traveling
feedback
course
from you there.
membership. Thank you so much, Little Miss Red Velvet.
KJ?
I can't see who got that.
There we go. I muted you, KJ, because you were feeding back there. I was hearing you twice. Maybe you need to leave and come back. Mean Green, how you doing tonight? What you got for us? Don't we have Mean Green up here as well? Everybody can hear me, right?
We can
Yeah, I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
We can
Okay.
always hear you.
Yeah, I know. You seem so enthusiastic when you say that. MG, I'm assuming this is Mean Green. MG is what it says.
No,
That's
that's Mountain Goddess.
Oh, Mountain Goddess. Okay, I'm sorry. I had seen MG in there. Mountain Goddess. Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'd seen the MG. I just thought that's who it was. Mountain Goddess, how you doing tonight? What you got for us?
Hey guys, you guys have been cracking me up. I really enjoy it. So, I don't know if I have a real question, but I know you only you said what 15 minutes. So, but I understand I'm sorry, I forgot your name. The scientist dude.
Nathan, Old Man Builds.
Okay, yeah, the energy. He's totally right about that.
Yes, totally.
For some reason, I always feel, whenever I'm about to see something or experience something, I always feel it first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all around me. And another thing is, I also I get like smells. I can smell.
Yes.
And it's really bizarre. But when you guys have more time, I'll tell you about my thinking rock. I live up here in the mountains.
Well, we got time. Tell us about your thinking rock. We want to hear your story.
Okay.
Yeah, you tried to come up the other night. And I hope normally we just bring one person up at a time. We're kind of on time here, so I got two of you up. But normally, we usually just bring one person so they have their moment to talk. You know what I mean? But we want to hear about. We want to hear about your. We want to hear about it. Tell us your story.
Okay, so I live up in the mountains. We're about 7,000 feet up, and I'm in Southern California.
I can't hear anything, so I'm gonna get off again.
Can you hear me? Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you, Mountain.
Oh, okay. So there's a place I go up even higher. I take my Jeep up, and it's a dirt road with a bunch of rocks. And I go up, it's, like I said, about 1,000 feet up, and there's what I call my thinking rock. It's a giant boulder that sticks out.
Yeah, I know. You seem so enthusiastic when you say that.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I hear a bunch of people.
There's a little
Yep.
back.
Oh,
Keep going there. You're good. I got it taking control of. Go.
So I go up there when I need to clear my mind. It's a giant boulder, basically the size of a Volkswagen, and it sticks out from the mountain. And so if you were sitting at the edge of it, your feet would hang off. And I have incredible view of the lake and everything. So I go up there, and that's where I clear my mind, and I think, and I've been doing it from the time I moved up here. I had a weird experience there about 5 years ago. It hasn't really happened, but there's been previews of it wanting to. I was sitting there, it was almost dusk, and I kept hearing sort of like voices. They were like just all these different, but they were all around me, and I couldn't make anything out. But then I started smacking my neck because I thought maybe mosquitoes or something was on me, and it was I don't know what they were, but they were real tiny, about as big as a mosquito, and they lit up one at a time, and it was like maybe 4 or 5 of them, and then one in the middle just lit up, and I couldn't really make out the shape, but they flew like it was almost in a not a bubble, but like a fog, like foggy, and it was they were like wanting to say something, and I couldn't make it out, and so I just kind of stood there like, okay, what do I do? And if I made one false move, especially when it gets really dark, I can fly off that. But I wanted to touch one really bad, but they were kind of at the edge of the rock. So I just said, no, I'm not going to do that. But I kept feeling. And then there's a tree next to me, a pine tree, a big one. And I heard scurrying like a creature. I thought maybe it was a raccoon or a squirrel or something. But I couldn't see what it was. Whatever it was, though, it was really big. It wasn't like a little creature. I don't know what it was. But these flying little things, they one lit up, not white, but like almost like a yellow, and then it dimmed down, and then it turned to like purple, like a purple color or violet. And I was just looking at it. I didn't want to take my eyes off of it, but I had to back up off the rock to get back in my car. I left my phone in my car because I don't want any distractions from when I'm trying to clear my brain. And, but yeah, that was really bizarre. That was really, really bizarre, but I wasn't scared.
It sounds like, I hate to say this because I know I'm probably going to get some eyeballs at me, but I had a similar experience in Ireland, and I know how people talk about fairies and little people.
Fairies.
Yeah, that right? was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't seen something I just saw one, and it looked like it was in a little freaking bubble, and yes, I was in Ireland. I was not drunk at that time during the middle of the day.
Total lies.
But we were out walking around, and my friend went one way, I went the other, and I was sitting up on this giant boulder of all places too. And I was looking out over this big valley, and there were the mountains. We were out by Killarney. And
oh my God, you could have been there.
I just saw this came in front of me, and I'm sitting there like, what the hell is going on? And I'm just like, and I just sat there because I'm like, okay, I didn't hear anything. I don't know if it tried to communicate with me, but you're explaining that, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
And did you feel like an energy around you?
I felt very calm. I wasn't afraid at all.
I wasn't afraid. I was more interested, but I felt before they got there, I felt something around me, completely surrounding me. Yeah. Almost like a big hug or something. I don't know.
As long as you show them respect, you should be fine. I saw one here in Roseburg, Oregon, a few years ago. I truly believe they exist, and I truly believe you've seen something that others obviously haven't seen, because I've never seen any creatures that turn colors. If they but not turn colors, so that's cool.
But being in a bubble, how strange that you had the same experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looked like to me.
Not the only one.
That's exactly what it looked like too, and I was just like, "Oh shit, what? Were you with me?"
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I think we're on some kind of wow. That's really cool. Yeah, that is so cool. I thought you guys would think I was nuts or something.
Yeah, even weirder. The next trip I went on, my other friend, I went with a different friend that time, and we were sitting in our room, and we actually saw something very similar go through our hotel room, and we were both she's like, "Did you see that? That must have been a car passing by," and I'm like, "Nope, that's not what that was." So, Yeah, I was pretty sure. That's, yeah.
And they
So-
were really clear, but I
It
just
was-
couldn't stay there because it was like, oh my God, I gotta go because it's getting pitch black out here. We don't have any, street lights or anything. So
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta go. And
I know
just
how you
kept
get up in those
backing up.
higher elevations, right? Yeah, it was, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel. I have a very good. I think I have a very finely tuned sense of, that fight or flight. Because if something feels really off for me, I'm getting out. I'm not messing with it. If I walk into a place and it just does not feel right, not for this gender. I'm out. But if I'm there,
But you didn't feel that way though, right? You felt comfortable.
No,
I mean, you
no.
did.
But I try to walk into a place with good intentions anyway. Like I'm like, hey, I'm not here to hurt anybody. Like I hang out in cemeteries. I hang out in cemeteries.
Positive energy.
Right.
Positive
And I
energy.
never get bothered. Like I don't ever get creeped out. I go to a lot of haunted locations. I don't think I've had any. Like if I've gone into a room or something and it was like, I don't like that, I'll just turn around and go back out.
I'm
Just
the same
because,
way.
It's
like,
funny you say
can
that.
instantly
It's-
sense
Telling
when
you
something's
not
not
to be
right.
there, but yeah, something's just.
It's
I don't
funny
know,
you
maybe
say that
something
because
about-
I'm kind of with Nathan on this one, and probably with Doug as well, like what Doug was saying earlier. I'm not really scared of those things. And it's not the fact it's not like me not wanting to use a Ouija board because I'm scared of it. Because I'm really not scared of that kind of stuff. It really doesn't bother me. I'm pretty I'm safe in my own faith and safe in my own who I am and all that kind of jazz. I'm not scared of it. But I do think that, tempting fate is kind of a dumb idea at the same time. So I'm like 50-50 on that. Like I don't ever go into a situation. I mean, I remember being a little kid and running up the stairs from the basement, like, oh my God, you get those little EBGBs. But as I've gotten older, I just really don't give a shit. I mean, I'm like, yeah, if you really want to do that, you know what I mean? I'm just going to drink a 12-pack of beer and try to haunt me at night. I dare you to try. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to happen.
On the opposite side of that, it takes a lot to really freak me out.
Right.
So if something is freaking me out, like there's got to be there's probably a serial killer like within
Right.
very close proximity. It's probably
You
more
feel a dark
like
energy.
I would rather take my
not-
chances. I would rather take my chances
Not
with
afraid
a
of
ghost, so to
I'm
speak,
pretty human.
than walking home from a event in downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I'm gonna
well,
be
so
like,
here's how my
clowns.
take is on it. These
clowns.
things that we're talking about are creatures that are vibrating at a different energy in a different frequency that we're capable of seeing or hearing for the most part. Certain people, us empaths, you know who you are, we're capable of picking up on that energy, whether it be through smell or sight or feel or sense or the hair standing up on the back of your neck. I mean, everybody's got the sixth sense. You just got to tap into it. And you're talking about tools that we are using to communicate with entities that are at a different frequency. It doesn't specifically mean that they were ever human or ever demon. They're just at a different frequency. And again, it's all about your intentions and the vibrations that you're using. You get what you give. So if you go in there with a bad attitude, you're going to get nothing but bad crap back. But if you go in there with a light attitude and a positive attitude of just love and communication, then that's what you're going to get.
Yeah. And we can manifest so many things. Like
Exactly.
people keep going into these locations like, oh, this place is haunted. Like
Then you automatically manifested that.
Like people are going in like, oh, this place is super haunted, right? And they get
Right.
there and they're like, oh my God, they're already envisioning all these weird. I would rather go in and
they're
not know a damn thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh,
Right.
did you feel that? Or, was that
Right.
just me or something? And if somebody else has the same experience, okay, well, let's document this and let's
Yeah,
talk about it. But
Because they set their energy before they even walked in the door.
yeah, you're already like hyped up and expecting it and you're putting that
Right.
out there. Like,
Right.
or maybe
Exactly.
you're putting it out there and then you're attracting it back. Like maybe there's something just kind of randomly waiting for
Exactly.
somebody to be like, talk to me.
Because there
So,
are
yeah.
entities out there that will feed on your fear. So you don't want to deliberately just give it to them before you even walked in the door, because they've already figured it out. The minute you walk in the door, they can smell that fear. So they're going to play on it for sure.
Yeah,
So.
I have horses. I know how that is. They'll play on your fear all day, every day. Like I walk out in the pasture, if somebody's with me that they know, they'll like act like a bunch of freaking raging idiots out there. Like, "Woo, look at us!" And they're I mean,
yes,
the same as spirits. Horses.
Well, see, that's another thing that we as humans are stupid about is animals are way more sensitive to these things than we are, because again, they're experiencing life on a different frequency. And we just don't tap into
children,
it. So like cats,
children
can tell you immediately something in a room with you.
It's somewhat of the innocence. I think you go with that, like animals, and that's an innocent, creature. It doesn't have the same mindset of grown adult. Children are the same way, so I think they would be more susceptible to those kinds of things.
Well, I have a mountain lion, and she's like really, really sensitive to a lot of things. I mean, her ears perk up, and I already know where to look. She's like my guard dog.
And the difference, see, now here's the thing I would like to know, if anybody did any research on it, is the difference between the pineal gland in animals and humans, because we know that with children, their pineal gland has not been calcified yet, so we believe that they're capable of seeing these creatures at that we normally can't. I mean, children can talk to ghosts. I did. For some reason, though, I can still talk to ghosts. So, but they say that as we age and reach maturity, our pineal gland calcifies, and it becomes more difficult for us to reach heightened awareness. But
animals don't live as long as most animals. Yeah, most animals don't live as long as we do. So I'm sure they don't. I'm a vet tech, and I don't know. I'll look into that.
That would be interesting to find out the data on that.
I'm curious now too, but I mean, they don't, like, cats are probably longer lived than most dogs. I mean, I had a cat live to be 20, and my oldest dog lived to be about 17. So, I mean, that's not very long, really, when you're considering children versus adults, right? Like, as humans, 75 to 85-ish, right?
Right.
Lucky. So that is interesting. I just think they're more grounded because they're stuck to the ground. Like, even little kids run around outside barefoot and right. I did when I was a kid. Yeah. Right. And when I want to get back in touch, when I'm feeling like all stressed out and stuff has got me messed up in the world, I go out and I'm like, I just bury my face into my horses, or my dog or my cats, they keep you grounded too. And I think that's another sign too, like if you're kind of
and if you want to touch on that, Native Americans wore moccasins, which were leather bottomed, so they were still connected to the planet. But we started wearing rubber bottomed shoes, and we lost our connection.
You're right. You're right. My tribe is the same. We've been wearing those shoes for some. And everything had to be sort of in a natural state.
Yes. Well, we broke all those rules when we wanted progress.
Y'all back off your ET talk in the chat.
I love
back
ET.
off the ET. So we do have to wrap this up here in one moment. We try to keep these to 2 hours, especially like for our guests and stuff like that. Gypsy, you got any questions you would like to ask Doug or anything like that before you go?
Yes, Jed, just like to invite you over to subscribe to our channel. We're young, just getting going, and I put videos out as often as I can because my phone likes to shut itself off in the middle of videos and then turn itself back on. It's kind of possessed.
Maybe it is.
But yeah, I'm up to 118 subscribers, so you guys please join. Well,
Gypsy, feel free to drop your link in the chat there before we get out of here. Feel free to do that. Gypsy's got a good channel over there. She's got a good store. She makes a lot of arts and crafts and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Obviously, she can't make a sandwich because I've been looking for one for forever. The damn thing's probably spoiled now.
I don't know. Wonder Bread doesn't mold.
You notice we still, on every thumbnail, we still have that sandwich in there.
I know.
I'm still
I keep
waiting
looking
on
for it.
That's just for you.
I found it, but you can't really.
I know it. I got to manifest my own. I got to manifest my own sandwich, Gypsy.
You got to find the right locker, my man.
Yeah,
It's in there.
manifest that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
gotta
are
manifest
fun. I had a great time. I'm going to exit stage left, and y'all take care.
Hey, thanks so much for coming up, and
Bye,
feel
Belton.
free.
Yeah,
When
I'm
we
gonna cut
drop
out
the
of
link.
here too, and I'll drop my info to the chat if you guys will, because the only one I get into is gutters.
There you go. You got it.
So if you
Drop
guys
it in
would
there.
put it in your chats, I would really appreciate it.
I'll
Drop
check it
in
out.
there.
Take care, guys. Bye.
All right. Hey,
Thank
thanks
you,
so much for
everybody.
coming up, both of you. That is absolutely awesome.
It's nice meeting
Thanks so
you.
much. There we go. And it was good hearing from all those good people. So yeah, that was interesting. Doug, what's your take on that?
It was such a lively conversation. I chose not to interrupt, but I will
Right.
say
It's
that
hard not to, right?
I will say though the ferry thing I found very interesting. We actually had somebody reach out to us in LJ, Georgia. That it was one of those cases we never got to go to, but she swore up and down that she had ferries visiting her out in LJ, Georgia, and they were bioluminescent. And she also said that she knew of a dragon within that area. So in LJ, Georgia, you never know. There was Hogzilla out there, which turned out to be real.
You ever go to the Bigfoot Museum there in LA?
I did. Yeah, I've been there twice. Yeah,
I know that guy. I know Dave.
Yeah.
Back
Oh,
around.
yeah.
All right, I want to go.
Yeah, it's an
there.
awesome. It really is an awesome time there. But it's funny because we went there and my wife ended up leaving with Mothman memorabilia as
Oh,
compared to
I
Bigfoot.
thought you were about to say she left with Mothman.
She probably would. She probably would. But,
You better back off. I've got.
but no, it's the ferry thing. It's so interesting because whenever we moved back to Northeast Tennessee, we actually went to a witch's herbology class, and she swore up and down that she could speak to fairies. And again, it's one of those things we always end up talking to people about Bigfoot and talking to people about fairies, and we never get to go out on those and actually look at them. So we're going to try to make it a point. And that, and also duendes. We really want to go look into duendes too.
We get
Well,
a
there you
lot
go.
of fairy stories in California.
I got a place near Killarney that next time I go, we'll have a field trip.
Wrong kind.
Wait, what?
So
Oh,
here's the
no,
deal.
Nathan was saying.
Yeah, so I've been dropping Doug's link there, the Window Bros, in the chat. I just did it again. I know Nightbot's been doing it as well. If y'all aren't subbed to our good friend here at Doug over there, they do a lot of good work and stuff like that. Make sure you get over there and check them out. Give them a subs up. I noticed you broke 500 subs, so you've made it to that point.
Nice, very good.
Yeah,
Congrats
actually,
on that.
it's kind of crazy. We released the Saucers and Case File Abyss, and now we're I think we're inching closer to 600. So it's it's pretty exciting times.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's always a blast to have you on, man. I mean,
likewise,
anytime you ever want to come hang out with us, you got my number. You can call me anytime. And we got to set something up. We got to meet in real life, hang out at one of these things,
100%.
and make this happen.
100%. Yeah.
And you said you got a guy you want to bring on here to talk about something else too. What is that about?
Yeah, that would be Rick Bunn, the caretaker of the Euroshrine. So he's been on Scare Network and also Stream Beacon TV. He was probably the biggest episode for Paranormal Mysteries, where they did an investigation into the Euroshrine. He's also been featured in our investigation of it. We've become really good friends. I enjoyed. It's never a dull moment to meet with Rick and talk to him. But we had brought to his attention about the Abbinormal show, and I think that you guys would be a great fit for that because one, you allow your guests to talk, and Rick is a very fascinating person to talk to, and the incredible thing about Rick is that he will tell you incredible stories, but also be able to back it up, which blew our mind whenever we first met him because we said there's no way this guy can back all this up, and then whenever we went and fact checked everything, sure enough, he was telling the truth about quite a bit of it. And there's things that he still continues to blow our mind about, and we're learning new things about that place every time we go there. But I think, on that end, if you watch Case File Abyss, and again, I'm not trying to promote anything, but Case File Abyss, if you watch that and the consecutive
feel free to promote away. I mean, that's the point.
Case File Abyss episode 1 is out right now, and it's probably going. Thank you for that. But it's probably going to be 6 episodes. We ended up going into it thinking that it was just going to be one standard episode like we usually do. And then by the time we were done, we had 6 hours of footage recorded. It even involves me doing a solo dive into an abandoned cave to go give my portion of it, which actually turned out to be the cave that I went into used to be an old munitions storage house during the Civil War. And so a lot of it's collapsed now, but went in there being stupid by myself, and we talk about things that unsettle me. It was a little bit unnerving in there by myself. But on that end though, I think Rick's going to come in. He's going to talk to you a lot about some very interesting things, and one of the things that he's really talking into is Onis and Oni attachment and dark Shintoism. So I think that he would be a fantastic guest for this show.
Yeah, let's set that up and make it happen.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's make it happen in the next month or so. And whenever he's available, give me a week's heads up. We try to get guests, line them up and stuff like that. So give us a week heads up when you want to do that, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get a hold of Rick, and then you'll probably catch us live from the Euro Shrine. So.
Yeah, that would be absolutely awesome. Anything else you want to tell the people, anything like that? Shout out your own stuff, tell everybody where to find you, different things like that.
Well, yeah, first of all, I'll just say thank you to you guys for having me on. You all have become really good friends of mine. I always enjoy coming on and talking to you guys. I think we share a lot of laughs, and it's always good to go into a paranormal show where it's not so serious and not so dead on air,
right? Not stuffy.
But yeah, and thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. I really appreciate all the comments and everything. It's always fun to talk to you guys too. Just to recap, we have the West Kentucky Paranormal Expo. So if you're going to be in West Kentucky near Mayfield, catch us out over there where we'll be giving our presentation along with having a free interactive booth where you can look at case files, watch episodes, and listen to evidence and play around with spirit dice and listen and play with spirit boxes as well too. So we bring the whole thing out there. Screamiverse Expo 3 announced for next year. We're still in the process of the Appalachian Witchcraft documentary, and then we're discussing getting back into our roots and going back to the podcast life for a little bit, and doing probably 4 investigations each, or doing 1 investigation each quarter, and then really we have so many case files that we've never really released, and Rick always says that we do it the old-fashioned way, because I get on my computer, type it up, and then I'll just store it away in a file. So we're actually going to try to bring a lot of those to light that have not seen the light of day. You can catch me at the Winterbros. We are the Winterbros on every social, so whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X, Facebook, we're the Winterbros at everywhere. So we are the thing that pops up whenever you Google us. So
nice.
So you do a lot more on TikTok and stuff like that. I mean, is that so? YouTube's more of a newer thing for you. It's more focused on TikTok and stuff. Or how would you think?
Well, TikTok is where we probably gain most of our audience from.
Right.
And again, it's just one of those things. People just don't really have, and I hate to say it, they just don't have much of an attention span these days. So you kind of have to hook them and then lead them on to other things. To be honest with you, our Facebook has actually been blowing up a lot more here lately, more than anything. And
you got the boomers.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it's
real them in. You're real in the boomers.
But and YouTube, to me, YouTube has always been our bread and butter. So even though our YouTube has never been as big for us, we've done YouTube from the beginning. YouTube and Spotify, we've kind of leaned off a little bit, but YouTube has always been our bread and butter, just because it's where we can actually get out the whole story and actually share, the true vision that we put behind our work. It's one thing to watch a short reel or a TikTok. It's another thing to actually go to our channel and actually watch, in length. And we have episodes that are over 2 hours. So, and we try to condense those as much as we can, but we're very thorough. So. So if you're wanting to watch something and wanting to kill a day, tune into the Window Bros. I think we have, around 100 hours of content. So you can definitely watch all that, and if you're bored on a Sunday.
There you go. Yeah, if you guys aren't subbed over there to the Window Bros, I know Nightbot has been dropping it. I will drop it one more time right here into the chat. If you're not subbed up over there, Tombs, if you could, Gutters, you, Old Man, anybody out there doing that. Yeah, just throw that out there. So Tombs, what do you got coming up for us this week? Are you finally going to get to the challenge of, cleaning how many, stones you can?
Yeah, I started yesterday. Well, Thursday, because I don't know what day it is now. I think it's Saturday technically. I got rained out today because even though I'll clean in the rain, I'm not going to put my instruments through that. I already got a crappy laptop. I don't need a crappy tablet too. So hopefully, paws crossed, it's not going to rain today, Saturday. So I'll be back at it. I got 4 cleaned yesterday on my Tombstone challenge for Civil War veterans, and I had 3 cleaned. I cheated a little bit. I got 3 done the day before. So
what time are you doing that tomorrow so people can know? And tell everybody where to find you at. I know Nightbot has been doing that.
6:30 p.m. Eastern, and I may go a little bit early, or maybe 6 p.m. instead, since it's a Saturday. But Tombstones, dead air time, all together. Yeah.
And there you go. She does a lot of cool work. I like the fact she goes out there, she looks up these people, finds out who they are. They're forgotten people. She goes and cleans up their tombstones, gives you like their lineage and stuff like that. A lot of times goes back and finds these people. It is really cool stuff. So, she brings back the forgotten and, lets everybody know who they are and cleans them up a little bit, makes them feel good about themselves. That's a good thing. Does something good for the
everyone needs a
good
bath.
Right. So there you go. Tombstones, dead air time. Nathan, you got anything cool coming up for us, brother?
No, I'm getting ready for Tesla tickets in 2 weeks, so I'll be focusing on that for the next 2 weeks. Giving basically an awesome rendition of what I think how everything works in the world. So it's going to be pretty cool, man. 2 weeks time on the 12th of next month, I'll be there presenting live at about 4:00 in the afternoon.
All right, there you go. And you can find Nathan over there on pretty much any platform. Go over there and type in Old Man Builds. Old Man Builds. You can find him over there. He's always shocking himself, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It is always good to watch. Sometimes, you even get to see him in rare form jumping around. So definitely get over there and check out Nathan over there at Old Man Builds. Gutters Pub, you got anything cool coming up for us?
Not this next week. I have company coming, so... But, it'll eventually kick back into Tuesdays. We just don't know when that's going to be.
All right. Well, Gutters always got something up her sleeve. Go over there, Gutters Pub. I think it is the only Gutters Pub that you will find on YouTube. So go over there and check her out as well. All you fine people who have come in here tonight and hanging out with us on a Friday night, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been an absolute joy to hang out with each and every one of you. Pretty cool. Doug, any last words for us, brother? Oh, wait, I got to bring up an outro. So go on ahead, tell us something.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky. Well, I was hoping it was going to be longer.
or like Jimothy. Like Jimothy. Stay trashy.
You hear
Stay
Nathan.
haunted.
I found Jimothy right here.
I love you, Jimothy. You're my boy.
Oh, no. Not Jimothy. Not Jimothy. Everybody, too, make sure we are going to do, it might be tonight. You never know when it's going to be. But we do some members only, like Trollcast, play Oregon Trail, do some stuff like that in the background every now and then. It's pretty fun. I made a pretty good prank phone call last night. I think Tombstones really enjoyed that one. Was it good, Tombs? Was it good?
Oh, my God, the shady lady.
Yeah, we called it the Shady Lady in Kansas. That was
not
pretty.
My nickname.
That was hilarious.
Not my nickname.
That was pretty fun. So yeah, everybody out there, tell us goodbye in the chat. Doug, as always, thanks so much for coming up. You are an awesome guest.
So
we
much
got to
for
meet
me.
up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And bring that other guy on. Let's make that happen. You got my number. Just anytime, get up with me. To all you people who've tuned in, please, if you didn't hit the thumbs up on the way in, no matter where you're watching, hit it on the way out if you don't mind. That does help everybody out. So I got to figure out how to do this. What is this right here? Yeah, here we go. So thanks a lot, everybody. Look, I did something right. Tell us goodbye in the chat. Thanks a lot, everybody, for coming in. It has been an absolute pleasure. God bless each and every one of you. I hope your weekend is full of joy. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.
Animal looks like a canal station.